welcome back to my channel and welcome to my 80s series. And have I got an 80s video for you today? I thought I'd start this one a little bit different and just look back at the last video. Now, my jewellery drill broke. That was only my second ever jewellery drill and it was rubbish, lasted no time at all. This one is a new one from Amazon. It's got the switch right at the top of it, which I kind of like. It gives me a lot more control over my drilling. Now, the one that just broke had a switch like halfway down the lead, and I really did not like this. It didn't allow me to turn it on and off real quick. So again, this is very similar to my first one that had the yellow button. Love it. Now, I really wanted to talk about these screw eyelets. Now, in my last video, I said that these are like industrial. These are going to give you a really solid, robust keyring, and these are 20mm 2 centimeter screw eyelets. Now, I did get the gold ones as part of a massive set, and I totally didn't look at measurements. And I got some huge industrial ones, like you can hang rope from trees. Do you know, like huge? But I actually went back onto Amazon and I ordered a pack of 20mm 2 centimeter screw eyelets. So now I am well and truly stocked up. Just for reference, this is the general screw eyelet on the left in the packet that you get with most jewelry making kits. And honestly, they are so tiny. I'm not saying they're completely rubbish. They've done the job for me in the past, but from now on, I'll definitely stick to the bigger ones. And there you can see I finished them all off. Now, in today's video, guys, I love the results of this one so much. It's actually my favorite results ever. I'm using the medallion mold from Moulds and Shapes. As you guys know, I'll link the details down below, but they're not reopening until July, until September. So you guys know they're closing down fully, permanently in September. So if you want this mold, put it on your list and you can reorder it in July. Now, honestly, for speed and ease, the bases of these key rings are going to be the Let's Resin polyurethane, but of course you could use epoxy resin with some white pigment or any pigment color of choice. I'm choosing white because I feel like that's the grand scheme of everything today, and it's going to be the perfect backing color, which is why the Let's Resin polyurethane comes in super handy, because this is a super speedy, quick mix, quick pour, quick setting medium, and it's just going to give me the white background without having to wait 24 hours for epoxy resin. Now, I've left all of this footage in because I wanted you to see this in real time. This is how fast I mix part A and part B of the polyurethane resin together, and I do not mix for long. You have probably maximum, I'd say, 1 minute before you have to get pouring. You can feel it going hot in the cup in your hand, and that is when you really need to move and get it poured, because that means it is about to set on you, and you do not want that. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that I prefer my key rings with a backing color that is almost to the top, leaving me only 1 mil at the top for my epoxy resin top coat, because my UVDTFs got shriveled in that video. Do you guys remember the 70s crinkled t-shirt video? So this time around, I am filling the mold all the way bar 1mm from the top. Now, of course, I made up way too much, and this of course is sped up because this does cure within 10 minutes. It will be completely white. It goes white before your very eyes. Now, the deeper the pour, the quicker it will go white. If you've got a really shallow pour, it will take its sweet time. About 30 minutes later, I decided to come back up, and guys, oh, the smile across my face when I saw these. Honestly, these are everything. They scream 80s, they scream the Goonies, they scream Stranger Things. They are just absolutely gorgeous. Now, I bought and paid for these through Amanda Towgood at Resin Supplies Den. I sent her some images and I just said, anything you can find on your system, anything 80s, send it my way. But I do want a sheet of 4 centimeter images, 3 to 4 centimeter images. And actually, Amanda sent me these as well. So these are actually going to be our 80s squiggle design backing. I mean, I don't recall necessarily ordering these, but I think Amanda probably knew that on her system these go hand in hand. So you've got this background, and then on the top of that you can put whatever 80s iconic image that you want. And I figured these would work absolutely perfectly. So again, this is the medallion mold from Molds and Shapes. So we will need our jewellery drill. And because I had leftover polyurethane, we've also gone on to use the Molds and Shapes keyring mold. And it wasn't until, I know it sounds really random, but it wasn't until I did this video I realised how different in size they are. I always just thought they were a similar size, but the keyring mold is a solid 2 to 3 millimeters bigger. Each cavity is bigger than the medallion mold. So yeah, depending on what size you want is, yeah, just a little tip for you if you're writing a list of potential molds and shapes molds. So here we are, all of those backing sheets are down, and honestly, this was so much fun. I don't know what it is. I mentioned in previous videos, like and it's just endearing, isn't it? It's all of the nostalgia. I am a 70s baby, but of course I don't remember the 70s per se. I just remember the 80s. I was, by the time the 80s finished, I was on my way to secondary school, and I spent my teenage years in the 90s. But for me, the 80s just holds so much nostalgia, so many incredible memories of these colours, and the clothing I had as a child, the roller skates I had as a child. I never did get a Mr. Frosty though, so thanks Mum and Dad. Thanks Mum and Dad. Let me know in the comment section down below, fun question, what is it you wanted growing up as a child? Whether that's in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. What is it you wanted growing up as a child that you never got? What is it? Because mine is Mr. Frosty and probably Barbie's Dream House. But I think by the time Barbie's Dream House came around, I was kind of on the verge of growing out of it, and my parents probably thought, let's not. Let's not. But yeah, never got a Mr. Frosty. Absolutely devastating, honestly. And I'm pretty sure you could probably still buy them. So back to the video. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what you wanted and never got. But back to the video. I messed up this one. I peeled it off, and the corner I didn't do a very good job peeling it off. I was a bit too rough, so I ripped off both corners. Luckily, I had another cassette tape, so I was able to just put that straight down directly on top of the last one. Now, this image here I also really, really love. It's just a bunch of lines. I feel like we could do this on the Cricut. I feel like I could do that on the Cricut. The triangle, a bunch of lines in a triangle, and one of you lovelies, I've pinned the comment on the last video, the video before. The pinned comment is teaching us all how to get lines and zigzags and squiggly patterns within a shape. Because I was talking about the fact that I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never watched a video. I've never taught myself. And someone came in and just said, this is how you do it. And I've pinned that comment. So that triangle, I reckon we could do that on the Cricut quite easily, she says. Now, moving on to this mold. This was obviously not planned. I didn't realize I'd made quite so much polyurethane. I don't have any more background stickers, I'm afraid, which is devastating because I think everything here would have worked better with that black squiggly line background. But sadly, I only ordered enough for that one mold, and Amanda put one more on the sheet for me. But we're gonna work with what we've got and hopefully still keep it in the 80s theme. Now, honestly, guys, the cassette player. Would you call that a cassette player or a boombox? Like, where are you from? What generation are you from? And what would you call it? For me, I would call that probably a tape player or a cassette player, something along those lines. I absolutely love this part as well, back to the 80s, and I think the back to the 80s and that triangle work really well together, and I've just offset it to the side so it's not so uniform, it's not symmetrical right in the middle. I don't feel like it has to be. I feel like it can be quirky. There was also a clothing brand that this is reminding me of. Is it Tammy Girl? Does anyone remember the 80s, the 90s in the UK? I think it was called Tammy Girl. giving Tabby Girl vibes. Now the Rubik's Cube is quite a huge image, so I've just put them straight on their own. They would work with some vinyl wording across the surface as well, but guys, now the middle one here, I will zoom in on it in a minute. There are some circles that I ordered from Amanda Towgood, and they're too big for these, but they're too small for my coaster set. So at this point, I'm not sure why I gave the wrong measurements, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them. But it worked on here. Bit messy, but I was hoping it would work. I'm going to be using the Apex Cure Pro. Guys, I'm getting ahead of myself. Apex Resin Cure Pro. Perfect top coating and doming resin. And this does an absolutely fabulous job of bringing it all to life and making everything just perfect. I rarely say perfect on my channel, but there we are. I feel like these are utterly perfect. Now I'm giving this a really good scrape around the sides, the edges, the bottom of the cup before I put it onto my Let's Resin mixing machine to do the rest of the work. I don't mix anymore by hand unless it's a teeny tiny amount, otherwise my resin mixing machine is doing everything. I split it into 2 cups and I put it into my Let's Resin bubble removing machine, although I have to say at this point they're already looking pretty crystal clear. That was just as I put them in, so they weren't filled with bubbles or anything. Now we are top coating. My favorite way to top coat lately is to just pour a little bit, let the resin do its job, let the resin make its way to the edges of the cavity or the edges of the mold, and then I will bend down and I will eyeball right across my desk. So my eyes will be level with my desk, and then I will just do 1 drop at a time until I can see that absolutely perfect dome. I've got such a habit, such a tendency of pouring too much too quickly, and of course it's too much for the mold. The mold can't handle it, so it will come up and out and over those edges. So just go slowly, bit by bit by bit. And now, around about now, I'm kind of like down the side of the desk, you know, like just eyeballing it and just pouring 1 little drop at a time until I can see that dome appear, and then I walk away and I don't go near it and I don't touch it. I don't go near it. The only issue I had here is that top left cavity of the keyring mold. You all know, if you've been watching me a while, I ruined it. It's got a rip out of the bottom of it. I would have got too close with heat at one point. I did ruin that top left hole, so the resin does always naturally pour out of that. So I ended up having to go and scoop some resin out to just keep it within. So yeah, it's ag and human error, but this is what we're looking like. I'm absolutely loving them, and this is 24 hours later. If these are not the most 80s key rings ever, honestly I don't know what is. They just remind me of all of it, every part of the 80s. I would honestly say as well, even with the Rubik's Cube being such an iconic thing of the 80s. I don't know if it was developed in the 80s. Was it a 70s invention? I don't know. I never had one in the 80s or 90s. Never had a Rubik's Cube. And I will say I always wanted one. So again, thanks, Mum and Dad. I'm trying to think of everything else that I wanted and I never got. I'm pretty sure I had a Tiny Tears. Oh, I never got a Cabbage Patch Kid. Was that 90s? I don't know. I'm losing my decades. I'm mixing up my genres and my eras. But yeah. Let me know what you think of the key rings. Let me know which image is your favourite. And of course, I did buy these UVDTFs. So if you do want to get hold of these, do contact Amanda Towgood at Resin Supplies Den. I'll leave her details below. And of course, hashtag Claire made me do it. I keep forgetting to mention the hashtag, but people are still using it, guys. Can you believe it? To this day, people are still using the hashtag Claire made me do it. And of course, if you go on to Instagram and you just type in hashtag Claire made me do it, you'll see everyone's creations, which is pretty cool. Now, here's the thing. Let's get down to business. The most key important thing about the medallion mold, there's no holes. You have to drill your own. But what's important about that is that we don't want to see the drill. We don't want to see the screw eyelet. So that is why it's so important to fill up the mold to the tippity top, leaving all but a millimeter for your top coat, because that is where I'm going to hide the screw eyelet. Okay, so you do need to be super careful. I just showed you two there. The one on the left didn't do a very good job of filling it up enough. This one here is just perfect. My new jewelry drill is unbelievably powerful, and what I also want to do is drill the hole quite deep. This is going to allow, like, deeper than the screw eyelet. This is going to allow for movement in the resin. Now, in the past, I've just drilled a pilot hole, just a really thin pilot hole, and it genuinely wasn't enough. The screw eyelet would go in, but then it would bulge out the side. It would push the resin out because I haven't given it enough space to breathe inside the resin. So a nice, generous, deep hole just eliminates that possibility. And here we are with our favorite cassette tape. Oh my gosh, guys, the cassette. Anyone remember sitting by the radio, waiting for the top 10 hits to come on, and you're waiting to find out who's number one, and you press record and then they put the news over it? Oh my gosh, good times. Now let's talk about this one. I messed up on this one. Not only did I just barely leave enough room, but look at the front. I got way too close to the clear layer, and this is the result. I have destroyed it. So this will just be on my bag alongside all my other destroyed key rings. I'm going to end up so heavy with like 57 key rings hanging off one bag. I'm going to be known as the keyring lady. Just for reference, the screw eyelet is quite shallow, but I drilled quite deep. And of course, I've got too close and it's scratched the UVDTF. Now, the other difference being this is polyurethane. This is the result of drilling into polyurethane. It all started to build up around the drill. I never get that with resin. I never do. Here we are. This is the result. Oh my gosh. I love them. I love them. You know, I've said it a million times. Like, Tim doesn't mind me decorating this house however I want to decorate this house. But if I was single, my walls would probably look like this. I'm not going to lie. There's compromise. Okay. And then there's compromise. But I love them. My least favorite is the Rubik's Cube, just because it doesn't fit the vibe check of all the others. You know, it's not the same colorways and those muted pastels and the yumminess. But I love the image of the Rubik's Cube. It's just they don't go with the others. I hope that makes sense. But let me know in the comment section down below which one is your favorite. Let me know down below in the comment section, whatever decade you were born, what toy did you always want and you never ever got. And remember, if you do grab any UVDTFs, then do hashtag Claire made me do it. I hope you've enjoyed this one and feel inspired, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.